designing clothing, right?
Yeah, well, I would say that it's been a lifestyle. So generally, well, how it really started, is to even give homage to my stepmother, Jamie. She, um, as little girl, she has two girls, and obviously I'm her stepdaughter. So she, would sit us down and teach us the ins and outs of sewing. So she taught us how to sew by hand, and as a little girl, I would I would cut my clothes up, cut my jeans up, and sew little clothes for my Barbie dolls because I didn't play with them. I was a tomboy, but I would cut my own clothes up and sew the Barbie dolls' clothes. So,
Barbie doll clothes. That's so cute. Okay, so what gives you clarity when you're looking for the right way to design? For instance, what are you currently working on?
well, almost quiet as kept. And you know what? I have to almost backtrack a little bit because you asked what gives me clarity, and this also goes into this piece, and that is generally what gives me clarity. Like I said, lifestyle. So I would always make my own clothes, whether it was loose fitting, I needed it to go this way or that way. I would always modify my clothes, or do something different to it. And people will always say, "Where did you get that from?" Or "Did you do that?" Because they would notice that it was something different. And so that's pretty much how I start. I end up being more consistent in it.
Okay, that's interesting. What inspiration has attributed to your work? What has most inspired you in the design field, if you have an inspiration?
Uh,
I know you mentioned earlier was your stepmother. Was a seamstress?
yeah, well, she was a seamstress. I didn't, and so I would definitely say that she did inspire me because I did have that foundational training. And so where it was hard for everyone, people to thread the needle, I was able to get it spot on.
Right, right.
So but after that, I don't think, I think I was more intrigued with creating new ideas, and just new looks. And there was never any particular designer. I would always look at some of the designs and see, how can I modify that? How can I, and it would actually create new ideas, maybe looking at somebody else's, their design, their creation. I would try to go completely opposite of what I saw.
Right. So you have a passion for this, I know. So for designing and creativity. So do you have a passion for a specific type of design?
No, I would like to say that, well, I have to say that, I've been a rebel most of my life. Some say a rebel without a cause, but sometimes we end up reeling in and creating a cause ourselves. And so I like to say that I've gone against the grain,
Mhm.
and just I've always done the abnormal. I was always the one who, when I created something, when I was making something, the instructor or someone said, "That's not how you do it. You're doing it the wrong way. And this is the technique, and you follow the technique." And I would know, and I would see later on in life, hello, this is look at what happened, look, and so I remember there was one time where I wanted to make jean out of like couture, and people were like, "There's no way." And I ended up seeing, some couture jean items on the runway that were couture. I just like thinking outside the box, just going totally outside the norm. And that's generally what an artist is.
Right, right. So I can see how that all ties into who you are and your creativity. I know you had a line and it was I think it was a design that the symbol was from Africa, and it was on a lot of your garments that you created. What's going on with that? Do you still have that?
So I do. That's just one of those, I always look at our entities or entities that we have as sometimes our children, sometimes we have children that we put more attention to. Not that we love them any more, any less.
Right,
It's just
right.
that they need a little bit more attention. And then, sometimes you're like, or maybe you do step back and say, you know what, I've been neglecting this. And so this has been my special child. It's called Symbolizes Me. I've been teetering with the name for so many years, and I decided to stick with it. And because it's so many things that it symbolizes my life, my lifestyle, so many transitions, and it tells a story. The symbol that is a part of the logo means affluence, and it also it means it's an African symbol from West Africa, from Ghana, and it basically means when we come together, we're more valuable.
Hmm.
So it's very similar to the humility symbol, but that one is more so when we come together, we're stronger in numbers,
Right.
as a force more so. But this one is more as a value. So back then when I created the company or the line, the idea, or even the lifestyle, it was because the understatement is promoting community and togetherness.